Good afternoon, everybody. Well, thank you for tuning in to Bristol's very own Channel 591. Looks like we're celebrating St. Patrick's Day today.
Woo! It's going to be a good time.
Oh, well, so we have some fun, interesting history for you guys. We'll be doing it a little bit like our regular radio show style. Please remember that if you're watching in a group setting, like out in the bistro or anywhere else, keep your mask above your nose and under your chin. If you're alone, you're free to keep your mask off as much as you'd like. And don't drink too much today.
Adam, did you know everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day?
I was told I'm Dominican, but I'll be Irish for St. Patrick's Day. That's fine.
You're Irish today. I'm Italian, I'm Irish today.
All good. So I heard you wanted to present some stuff for us right now.
Yeah, I think we should tell everybody a little bit about the heritage and history of folktale in the Irish culture.
All right. So let me pull that up for you, and we'll get that started. There's Aaron go, brah.
It's going to be a good time.
1 second. Let me make sure it's all up. And then, as always, Angelina will sit in the tiny little corner. And you know what? I'm going to take down this this graphic over here. Just so that way you don't have to... Yeah, that's fine. All right. Anyway, thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you all for coming, whether you're Irish or not Irish. Everybody loves to celebrate the Irish history and all of its culture and tradition. A little bit about some of the tales of Irish people and culture. There may be some characters you recognize and some you didn't know anything about. So Irish folk tales and fairy tales have long been an long oral tradition. It was a point of pride for storytellers to recite the tales with great accuracy, and listeners knew those stories well. The tales changed and expanded over time, with current events and places folded into the ancient stories. Literacy was prized among the nobility, which meant that stories were transformed as they moved back and forth between written and oral tradition. At the same time, certain story tropes remained even when they no longer reflected the current culture, making Irish folktales a wonderful amalgamation of the old and the new. An example of the inventive way the original tales were retained, even with changing times, was the introduction of Christianity to Ireland. As Christianity spread throughout the world, it banished the worship or even the mention of prior deities, while at the same time absorbing those celebrations and stories, rebranding them as Christian. Ireland managed to retain the names and stories of early gods and goddesses by transforming them in ways that would be acceptable to followers of this new religion of Christianity. Sometimes they turned old gods into demons, making them the bad guys in the stories. One example is Pan. Most popularly, they made them lesser deities, and the stories were set in pre-Christian times. The protagonists were turned into supernatural saints who prophesied or otherwise pointed toward the coming of Christ. Saint Bridget, for example, shares a name with the pagan goddess Bridget. In this way, they were able to retain the original names and creatures that populated their beloved folktales. So there you have a little bit about the background of where these stories and characters came from. They had to improvise and change their folktales to remain current and relevant to the Christianity wave. So let's go through a couple of the ones. You may recognize some of these. Fairies, for example. If you were to visit an Irish store or read an Irish folktale, you may see a very common theme of fairies. These mystical creatures can take many forms, but almost always appear human-like. They are considered to have a hierarchy, including fairy royalty. Queen Mab or Queen Titania, as in Shakespeare, A Midsummer Night's Dream shows, are common names for the Queen of Fairies. The king of fairies goes by many names, including Finvara and Midir. But the most well-known name is Oberon, also immortalized in A Midsummer Night's Dream, who can be summoned by a song. Repeat that song 3 times during a party, and the fairy king may appear. Maybe we should try. Adam. Oberon. 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 Oh my goodness, I found a fairy king. Here he is. Found a fairy king.
Hello.
This is Oberon.
Apparently I'm a fairy king.
So at a party, if you mention Oberon 3 times, he appears at the party. Here he is. All right, Oberon, get out of here. All right. So he will join in if he likes your party, but if he finds your gathering boring, mayhem may result. Okay, a very familiar icon or character is the leprechaun. As we all know, you find and catch a leprechaun, you may be able to take some of his gold. Leprechauns are often associated with the Irish, but they didn't appear in ancient mythological tales. They became popular much later. Before the 20th century, leprechauns were thought to wear red instead of green. They are described as tiny creatures wearing a jacket, a formal hat, and shoes with buckles. I think I dated someone with that. Writer and amateur folklorist William Butler Yeats was part of a literary movement that called attention to the leprechaun in the late 19th century. Leprechauns are said to have hidden a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. So folks, if you catch a rainbow, you may want to find the end of it. Perhaps you'll find a pot of gold. Fian Mac Cumall. Fian Mac Cumall, also known as Finn McCool, was a warrior and hunter who was the subject of many folk tales. His stories were often told through the eyes of his son Oisin. Some stories claim that Fionn was a giant of a man, and that he created many of Ireland's most famous geographic features. He is said to have fallen asleep instead of dying, and that he will awaken and return in the time of Ireland's greatest need. Interesting tale. Puka. They are shape changers that are some of the most feared creatures in Irish folklore. They were said to bring bad luck to those who saw them and were particularly feared around times of harvest. Pretty creepy. If you see Puka, make sure you run. The message of the butterflies. According to Irish folklore, butterflies are said to move between worlds and bring messages and warnings. They are said to be souls waiting to be reborn on Earth. Butterflies with dark wings were said to warn off bad news, such as an attack or failed crop, while white and yellow butterflies were told to bring good news, such as a birth or success. So hopefully when you're outside this spring and you see a butterfly, I hope you see white and yellow ones. So next time you see one, it might be a good idea to put a bet in at your local bookies. Mermaids. Many people feel like mermaids are beautiful creatures and they bring good luck. But in Ireland, the myth of mermaids in Southern Europe tells of fair-faced, beautiful women that you should stay away from. Irish legends, however, describe cold water mermaids, or they call merrows, as pig-faced with sharp teeth. A mermaid was said to be formed when a woman was drowned in the creation of Lough Neagh. They were also said to come ashore and have relationships with men before leaving them and returning to the sea. Stay away from these sirens. Then we have Macha, goddess of the horses, which is one of the best myths and legends from Irish folklore. An old Irish legend of Ulster tells of Macha, a mysterious woman rumored to be magic, who was forced to run against the king's horses while pregnant to pay for her husband's crimes. The pain she suffered caused her to cast a curse on the men of the town, who were said to suffer labor pains for 9 decades following. Sorry, men. You get to feel what women feel for 9 decades if you run into Matcha, goddess of the horses. Then, of course, we have Pixies, the pixie in love. So for all of those who are romantic out there, this Irish legend is about a leprechaun named Cole encountering an evil fairy named Ain, who had transformed into a beautiful goblin. They spent hours talking until the Empress of Malevolent Fairies cast a hex on Ain, turning her into a magpie. Cole consulted the Queen of the Good Fairies, who promised to remove the spell if Cole found her and confessed his love. Eventually he did, and Ain was restored to her prior form. So as you could see in the picture, she looks like she is reunited again. Okay, you all may recognize the symbol of the harp in a lot of Irish brands and shirts and stories. So what is the story behind the harp? Well, it is said that evil gods stole the first harp from the Dagda, a king in Irish Celtic mythology. The lack of music in Ireland caused sadness to pass over the country until Dagda turned to art to cheer them up. Eventually, the evil gods gave it back to them, and joy returned to the land. This is how the harp became a national icon of Ireland and became cemented in the folk music tradition of Ireland. You may recognize a particular brand of beer who uses the harp in their logo. I'll give you a second to come up with that answer. Which brand of beer uses a harp in their logo? I'll let you know the answer at the end of the folktales. The shamrock, St. Patrick's teaching tool. This 3-leafed clover is very important in Irish legend in the spread of Christianity. It concerns St. Patrick as he tried to educate the Celts on the Holy Trinity, but they could not understand what he was trying to say to them. St. Patrick saw a clover before him and decided to use it to explain the 3 strands of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit as one. The Celts finally understood what he meant, and that's how the shamrock became so important in Irish history. Although, as you know, this is talking about the 3-leaf clover. If you find a 4-leaf clover, you will have good luck. The Dullahan, the terrifying tale of the Headless Horseman. A lot of the Headless Horseman stories come up around Halloween time. You can go to places that reenact this story. This fairy is known in Irish mythology as a headless rider on a black horse carrying their own head in their arms. Scary. He was said to ride fast through the counties of Down and Sligo, and if he suddenly stopped, it meant that someone in the community was due to die. This legend gave inspiration for the character in Sleepy Hollow, which was also a movie played by Johnny Depp. Now you're equipped with knowledge of myths and legends from Irish folklore. You are safe to wander through the most rural parts of Ireland. As the Irish emigrated throughout the world, they brought their folklore with them. They soon became one of the greatest storytelling countries in the world. And I will leave you off with the answer to the trivia question, which was which brand of beer uses a harp in their logo? And the answer is Guinness. I will leave you with an Irish blessing, and then we'll start trivia. Here is our Irish blessing for you. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and until we meet again, may the Lord hold you in the palm of his hand. So I hope you enjoyed our Irish folklore and the stories that comes with Irish tradition. We are going to have a fun Irish trivia game with Tori and Adam, so sit tight and we'll get that started.
Hi everybody, top of the morning to you. Okay. Hi, everybody. Top of the morning to ya.
Hope everybody's having an enjoyable and good time so far. So right now, what we're going to have is Irish trivia for you. Hope you all are ready. So for those of you who want to participate, you can either sit and just listen to trivia and answers. But if you want to win some prizes, then you can write down your answers and we'll grade it and give you a prize based on what you get.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. So, starting us off, what would you pour on top of an Irish coffee?
Ooh.
What would you pour on top of an Irish coffee? Take you a minute to guess.
Irish coffee sounds good right about now.
Sounds good anytime.
You can do these.
All right. The answer is cream. You'd pour cream on top of Irish coffee. That sounds pretty good to me. All right. Our next question is, what are the 12 bends? What are the 12 bends? I had no idea on this one either, but if you know it, good for you. Our answer is, they're mountains.
I would have never known that.
It's a whole mountain range. All right. Here's a fun one. Which city's name translates from Irish Gaelic into English as dark pool? Which city's name translates from Irish Gaelic into English as dark pool? It's number 3. Take a good guess on that one. It's a city in Ireland. The name of it is Dublin.
Ah, Dublin.
You want to try one?
Sure. Okay, I think you guys would know this one. Which John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara film was shot in County Mayo? Again, that's which John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara film was shot in County Mayo. Very romantic Irish film. They played so well together. I'll give you a second to figure that one out. Did you get it? The answer is The Quiet Man. The Quiet Man.
That was a good one. All right. Oh, we got number 4? Yeah.
I think so.
All right, number 5, sorry. Before lamb was used, what meat did an Irish stew traditionally contain? So before lamb was used, what meat did an Irish stew traditionally contain? Take a good guess. Tori doesn't like eating this.
Nope.
The answer is goat. Goat meat.
Poor goat.
Yeah, I'll do this one. All right. Next up on number 6. What does the circle at the center of a Celtic cross represent? What does the circle at the center of a Celtic cross represent? Our answer is the sun. And while you might not see too much of it today, it's always there and around for you guys.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. How about, which Irish saint is said to have visited America 1,000 years before Columbus? Which Irish saint is said to have visited America 1,000 years before Columbus? And the answer is Saint Brendan. Never heard of him. St. Brendan.
For all you holies out there,
Holies.
I'm sure you got it. Don't worry, we'll move on to another one. Alright, so we've all heard of St. Patrick. He's got a whole day after him. But what did St. Patrick supposedly chase out of Ireland?
I knew this one.
What did St. Patrick supposedly chase out of Ireland? Take a guess. The answer is all of the snakes.
Thank God for St. Patrick.
Yeah, I don't want snakes anywhere. Though my little brother has a pet one.
Oh.
All right. And here's another one. What kind of fairy screams to warn of impending death and disaster?
Wow.
What kind of fairy screams to warn of impending death and disaster? I don't think I ever want to hear one of these, but the answer is a banshee.
Ooh.
A banshee, a mythical creature.
How about it? According to the old folk song, what was Molly Malone selling in Dublin? According to the old folk song, what was Molly Malone selling in Dublin? In Dublin's fair city, where girls are so pretty. You know the song. What were they selling? Selling cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. If you got cockles and mussels, that is correct.
What is a cockle?
I'm assuming it's some kind of a sea fish, a seashell. I don't know. Shellfish? A mussel's a shellfish. I'm assuming a cockle is as well, but I don't know.
All right. If you don't get this one, you're either not paying attention or I don't know. But how many leaves does a shamrock have? How many leaves does a shamrock have? Take a good guess for us. Now, it's not a lucky one. The answer is 3, and there's even one up here to tell you.
I would have said 4.
That's a lucky one.
Oh. I thought all shamrocks were lucky.
No. Well, I'm always lucky.
Since when are you a shamrock?
All right. What saint is supposed to have brought Christianity to Ireland in 453 AD? What saint is supposed to have brought Christianity to Ireland in 453 AD? Saint Patrick.
Ah.
That was he's got his whole day after that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, well.
Oh, you went to the next page.
No.
That's okay.
I'll give it to you.
Okay. No, you could do it. Do this one.
What famous Irish actor, name the famous Irish actor who played James Bond? Woo.
Not Scottish. Irish.
Name the famous Irish actor who played James Bond. Her name's Bond. James Bond. His name would be Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan.
Not to be confused with Sean Connery, who is Scottish.
Oh, well. Here's another one. When did the Irish potato famine occur? When did the Irish potato famine occur? Or what years? (1845 to 1849).
Guess if you were looking for mashed potatoes in those years, you were
Yeah,
out of luck.
You were out of luck. Yeah, you want to do?
That's it.
You want to just go?
We'll do this.
All right, so we're gonna move on from trivia. If you participated, you can bring us your answer sheets later, and we'll give you a prize. If not, don't worry about it. But why don't we move into interesting facts about Ireland? Let's have some fun there.
Okay. So, one traditional cure for a hangover in Ireland is to be buried up to your neck in wet river sand. No, thank you. I'll stick to my Tylenol and water.
Angelina said she'd try it.
Sure she would. St. Patrick was actually born in Roman Britain, not in Ireland. In the Irish language, Ireland is called Éire. I think we all knew that one. An Irishman by the name of James Hoban designed and built the White House twice. After the original White House, which was known as the Presidential Mansion, was destroyed by a fire in 1814 during the War of 1812, the Irish-born architect designed and helped build the current White House now. Did you know only 9% of the Irish population are natural redheads? I would have thought it would be a lot more. Guess not. St. Patrick's Day is Ireland's official national holiday. But from what I hear, they don't celebrate it like we do. We kind of commercialize it, wearing green, drinking green beer, eating corned beef and cabbage. From what I hear, they don't do that in Ireland. Corned beef isn't even well known in Ireland. It's more of an American dish. The song When Irish Eyes Are Smiling, that was written by two American composers in the year 1912. Their names were George Graff and Chauncey Olcott. There are no records of them ever visiting Ireland. An old Irish legend says that while Christ will judge all nations on Judgment Day, St. Patrick will be the judge of the Irish. I'll let him judge me. Boxing is Ireland's most successful sport at the Olympics. We have a lot of, I guess, Irish boxers out there. Lakes are called lochs in Ireland. Like in Scotland, Loch Lomond, they're pronounced lochs. Ireland's first official language is Irish Gaelic. However, English is the country's second official language and is more commonly spoken. Do you want to read any of these?
Sure. All right.
Some. No. Give me the hard word. Samhain.
All right. Next up, I'm going to present some. So we have Samhain, or pronounced Samhain, is an Irish festival that marks the end of the harvest season and beginning of the winter season. The holiday of Halloween is thought to be derived from Samhain, or Samhain. Next up, to reach the top of the Irish music charts, an album needs to sell only 5,000 copies in Ireland. A book needs to sell only 3,000 copies in Ireland to make it to the bestsellers list. That's not too bad. Some historians claim that 40% of all American presidents have some Irish ancestry. After that, the oldest known harp resides in Trinity College, Dublin. It dates back to the 1300s.
Wow.
The only one I know who dates back to that is Mr. Button. The Titanic was built in Belfast, Ireland. The ship took over 3 years to build and sadly sank in just under 3 hours in 1912 in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean after running into an iceberg. Designed to be the world's largest steamship, it measured 883 feet long and 104 feet high. And it even has its own movie.
Somebody told me that they're remaking the Titanic ship to go back out.
That's
We'll see if that happens. I don't
that
know.
they are.
I don't know if I'd want to take a trip on that.
Maybe it's got a reinforced hull. Maybe they're. You know what? The ice caps have been melting, so it might be a little safer out there now.
Could be.
Now we have Ireland's capital city, Dublin, began as Dublin, which means black pool. Actually, that was a trivia question. There are no words in the Irish language for yes or no. If one wants to confirm or deny, they say I didn't or I did. And lastly, Katherine Kelly, died 1785, was known as the Irish Fairy because she allegedly was the smallest Irish woman ever. She was 34 inches tall and weighed only 8 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
My lord.
Teeny tiny little lady.
She weighed only 34 inches and only 8 pounds.
Wow.
She didn't really move past being a baby.
No.
That must have been the easiest childbirth ever.
So, this next thing we're going to do is sort of a play on truth or dare. But it's called Truth or Blarney. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say something that is related to Ireland, the Irish, or St. Patrick's Day. And you're going to figure out if it's the truth or if it's the false Blarney. And we will let you know if you're right or not. So the first one, Sweet Gypsy Rose Lee, is a popular Irish song. Sweet Gypsy Rose Lee is a popular Irish song. Is that true or Blarney?
Take a guess.
Did you say Blarney? Because if you did, you are right. The actual song title is not Sweet Gypsy Rose Lee. It's Sweet Rosie O'Grady. Sweet Rosie O'Grady. Okay.
All right. This one I can't do. So, next up, Edward Lear popularized haiku poetry. Is that truth or Blarney? Edward Lear popularized haiku poetry. That, in fact, actually is Blarney. He popularized the limerick. Edward Lear published many of his limericks in a book of nonsense in 1846. The haiku actually originates from Japan.
Aha. So, over 40% of all American presidents have had some Irish ancestry. True or false? Truth or Blarney? Over 40% of all American presidents have had some Irish ancestry. What do you think? Did you say truth? If you did, you're correct. I'm going to quickly name some of the Irish presidents. We have Andrew Jackson, James Polk, James Buchanan, Andrew Johnson, Ulysses S. Grant, Chester A. Arthur, I've never even heard of him, Grover Cleveland, Benjamin Harrison, William McKinley, the Roosevelts, William Howard Taft, Woodrow Wilson, Warren G. Harding, Harry Truman, John F. Kennedy, we all know that, Richard Nixon, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, the Bushes, George Bush, Bill Clinton, and even Barack Obama has some Irish in him. So there is a lot of Irish presidents out there.
All right. Next up, Ireland was the first country in Europe to grow potatoes on a large scale. Truth or Blarney? Ireland was the first country in Europe to grow potatoes on a large scale. Gotta scratch my beard for that one. If you guessed truth, you are correct. There was a potato famine in Ireland from 1848 to 1852. Many people emigrated from Ireland during that time.
Okay. So, shamrock shakes. They have been popular in Ireland this time of the year since the early 1900s. Shamrock shakes. They have been popular in Ireland this time of the year since the early 1900s. Truth or Blarney? What do you think? Shamrock shake sounds good right now.
It does.
Have you guys had a shamrock shake? Because they're delicious. So what did you say? Did you say truth or Blarney? If your answer was Blarney, you are correct. Shamrock shakes, in case you don't know what they are, they're a green, mint-flavored milkshake that first appeared in the 1970s, but not in Ireland, in an American McDonald's. They're only found in McDonald's in the United States, and that was in the 1970s. It is not an Irish drink. It's an American drink. Anything that's green and mint flavored, I guess we can call Irish.
Let's skip on to the next one. I'm going to do fun ones. All right. When Irish eyes are smiling is a traditional Irish folk song. When Irish eyes are smiling is a traditional Irish folk song. Truth or Blarney? Take a guess for me. If you guys Blarney, you'd be correct.
Oh.
It was actually written for a Broadway show called Isle of Dreams in 1913. It was a flop and ran for only 32 performances from January 27th to February 22nd in 1913.
Interesting. Okay. So St. Paddy's Day, spelled with 2 T's, is correct, while St. Paddy's Day with 2 D's is incorrect. Is that truth or Blarney? St. Paddy's Day, is it true with 2 T's or with 2 D's?
Take a good guess.
So it is Blarney. This can actually upset some true Irishmen. Patty, P-A-T-T-Y, is an abbreviated woman's name. This is not fitting for the male saint who is being celebrated. There's even a website called Patty, not Patty. And that was set up to explain the distinction. So when you say St. Paddy's Day, it's supposed to be P-A-D-D-Y. Interesting.
All right. Our next one. Bram Stoker, author of Dracula, was an Irishman. Truth or Blarney? Bram Stoker, author of Dracula, was an Irishman. Figure it out. If you guess truth, you are correct. Stoker wrote a total of 12 novels, as well as numerous short stories, several works of nonfiction, and a large number of articles that were published in newspaper and magazines. But he's a true Irishman. 1 second.
Okay. The Feast of St. Patrick is in honor of Christianity coming to Ireland in the 20th century? The feast of St. Patrick is in honor of Christianity coming to Ireland in the 20th century. Is that truth or Blarney? This one's a little bit on the easy side, I would say. Did you say Blarney? Because that is correct. It was actually the 5th century, not the 20th century, the 5th. Okay. One line from the chorus of a popular song. It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to Tipperary, but my home lies here. Is that truth or Blarney? Did I say that correct? It's a long way to Tipperary, but my home lies there. Did you say Blarney? Because that's correct. The song says, my heart lies there. Not my home, my heart.
All right. Let's get another one going. Belfast is one of the largest cities in Ireland. Truth or Blarney? Belfast is one of the largest cities in Ireland. Truth or Blarney? Take a good guess for me. Blarney. Belfast isn't in Ireland. It's the capital of Northern Ireland, which is part of the United Kingdom and not a country of Ireland.
Huh. I would have never guessed that. Okay. The 1947 movie, My Wild Irish Rose, was a semi-biographical account of Chauncey Olcott, the Irish singer. The 1947 movie, My Wild Irish Rose, was a semi-biographical account of Chauncey Olcott, the Irish singer. Truth or Blarney?
Take a good guess for us.
The answer is truth. Woo. It was a semi-biographical account of Chauncey Olcott. It was a musical about the Irish singer. We'll have to watch that one day. That sounds good.
That does sound pretty good. See if we got any more for you guys. All right. The legend states that the reason there are no rats in Ireland is because St. Patrick banished them from the island. The legend states that there are no rats in Ireland because St. Patrick banished them from the island. Truth or Blarney? Take a good guess for me. The answer is Blarney. The legend was about snakes, not rats.
I don't like rats or snakes.
I was going to say, I don't want either of them near me, but...
Okay. So, Irishman George Bernard Shaw won the 1925 Nobel Peace Prize. Irishman George Bernard Shaw won the 1925 Nobel Peace Prize. Is that truth or Blarney? Truth or Blarney? Did you say Blarney? Good, because that's the right answer. George Bernard Shaw was a playwright. He won the prize for literature. He's famous for having written the play Pygmalion, which was later made into a movie that won an Oscar? Good for you, George Bernard Shaw.
All right. All right. Erin go bragh is a phrase in Irish Gaelic that expresses your devotion to Ireland. Truth or Blarney? Erin go bragh is a phrase in Irish Gaelic that expresses your devotion to Ireland. Truth or Blarney? If you went with truth, it is correct.
Okay, I think we're going to do one more of these, and then we're going to move on to something else. In the 1990s, Riverdance became a popular show incorporating chiefly Irish music and dance. In the 1990s, Riverdance became a popular show incorporating chiefly Irish music and dance. Truth or Blarney? The answer is truth. Have you guys ever seen Riverdance? He was amazing. What was his name? Michael something. He was great. I think we're going to do one more because I like this one. The Irish flag is 3 colors. From left to right. Green, white, and red. The Irish flag is 3 colors. From left to right, green, white, and red. Is that truth or Blarney? Did you say Blarney? Because that is correct. All the Italian people out there are probably saying, that's our Italian flag, not the Irish flag. The Irish flag is green, white, and orange. Not red, orange. Okay, so that's that on truth or Blarney. So we're going to do one more thing for you guys. It's something called What Am I? We're going to give you clues to something that you are. And you guys are going to try and figure out, using the clues, what we're talking about. Okay. So, here are your first clues. A version of me first appeared in the 16th century. My modern form was created by an English businessman named Thomas Rawlson in the 17th century. I was originally designed as a work-convenient option for charcoal and iron workers. King George II banned me in 1746. While I was banned, I was often worn by rebels against English rule in Scotland. After the ban was lifted, special organizations were created to establish rules and traditions for how to wear me. I'm included as part of the dress uniform of certain military units around the world. The fabric I am made of has special patterns to show the family or home of the person wearing me. There is a set of special rules for how I should be worn. I'm usually made of high quality wool. My name comes from Scots word meaning to tuck up clothes around the body. My ancestor was made of an 18 by 5 foot piece of fabric. I originated in Scotland but I am now popular in several Celtic countries, such as Ireland and Wales. I was originally worn by one Scottish clan, but became popular throughout the country. Some youth organizations like the Scouts and the Boys Brigade wear me for parades. I'm often seen at Scottish or Celtic themed events such as Highland Games or pipe band competitions. While usually reserved for special occasions, some people wear me as everyday clothing. I'm usually worn with a set of accompanying accessories as part of a uniform called Highland dress. The special patterns on the wool I am made of are called tartan. Some traditions say I should be worn without undergarments, no underwear underneath me. Adam, you want to tell them what I'm talking about?
You are the most manly skirt available, a kilt.
Ah.
Woo!
Did you guys know that when men wear kilts, they're not wearing underwear underneath them?
Yeah, you let the breeze. I'm not going to finish that.
Come on through.
Oh, well. Tori, I have some questions for you.
Okay.
I want to see what you answer them, all right?
Yes.
What Irish rock is as light as a feather?
Oh, I have no idea.
A shamrock.
Ah!
Why can't you iron a 4-leaf clover?
Why can't you iron a 4-leaf clover? I don't know. You would ruin it.
You shouldn't press your luck. I like it. All right, here's a good one. What does a ghost drink on St. Patrick's Day?
Ooh. What does a ghost drink on St. Patrick's Day? Something with a boo. Boo.
It's booze. You got it.
Booze!
You got it. And spirits if they're feeling brave. When does a potato stop being Irish?
When it's mashed. I don't know.
When it's a French fry.
Oh, that is correct.
Let me see if I got any other ones. How many gold coins can a leprechaun fit in an empty pot?
100.
None, because otherwise it's not empty anymore.
Oh, that went right over my Irish head.
Where can you always find gold, but there's no gold at all?
Where can you always find gold, but there's no gold at all? At the end of the rainbow.
The dictionary.
The dictionary.
What has eyes but can never see?
What has eyes but can never see?
You might want to think about food.
A potato.
A potato.
Hey, I got one right.
All right. And which 5-letter Irish surname can be spelled with just 2?
What 5-letter surname can be spelled with just 2?
Yes.
I have no idea.
Casey.
Casey.
K-C.
Casey would waltz with the strawberry blonde and the band played on. All right, my friends. Thank you all for joining us this morning.
All right, top of the morning to you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Bristol's very own Channel 591. We appreciate all of you coming on today and hanging out with us. As you know, we're still in quarantine till the 21st, but we're doing all we can today. So we'll have fun. There should be a snack cart delivered at about, 2:45?
2:45. Beer and Irish cupcakes. That sounds delicious.
Sounds pretty good to me. You can't go wrong there. And then at 4 o'clock, we'll be having live streamed Irish step dancing. You won't want to miss that.
And right at the end of your lunch, around 1 o'clock, I will be back to do some Irish sing-along.
Oh.
So you can sing from your room, even if you're still eating lunch. Turn on the TV and sing with me.
I think it'll be a good time. I appreciate everybody. You all take care. Bye-bye.